Morning, Peter.
Many congratulations on last night. I know we're here to talk about Palace, but if I could just ask you for a second to reflect a little bit on that, because there looked to be an awful lot of happy faces in that stadium last night from Liverpool. What impact does it have on a club like yours getting to a Wembley final so soon in the season?
The best possible. So we were desperate to go there. We didn't think after the draw at home against Arsenal we are out of the competition. We knew there's a big mountain to climb, but we were ready for that. In difficult circumstances, the boys played an outstanding game. Well said. From a specific point on in the game, we really controlled it and played really good stuff, and I'm more than happy about that. And so, yes, you're right. There were a lot of happy faces in the stadium. There were a lot of happy faces in the dressing room. When we came there, the music was loud afterwards. The boys really wanted it, and the boys made it happen. And we are all really happy about it. And we are really looking forward to the game. The only problem is to the final. The only problem is obviously that I'm not sure 6-7 games to play until then. So we have to put it aside a little bit, but keep the feeling because it was good. You don't win just like this away at Arsenal. That's how it is. And doing that, I think, is the hard way going through the final. But we're Liverpool. Obviously, we are used to the hard way, and the boys did it, and I'm really happy about it.
And what about your match winner? Because I think when you signed him a while ago for 41 million, there were a few eyebrows raised, but he just seems to have fitted in so comfortably. I know you talked after the game about him turning into a world-class striker. How does a player like that turn into a world-class striker?
Work. Yeah, but if you don't have the basis, you cannot. And nobody can do miracles in this or perform miracles in this department. So it's not like. So Diogo came here and was an outstanding player, to be honest. So, but of course, it helps when you're a striker, especially when your team has a bit more possession than the former team, maybe, and that's already helpful. The players around help, but yesterday he had to do an awful lot for making it happen. So as good as the passes were from Trent, especially the second one, there was still a job to do. And so Diogo's really impressive person. So really grown up, really mature young man, and loves obviously football, loves working, loves training, all these kind of things, and that's very helpful. And he was in the middle of the team after 3-4 weeks, so there was no time really needed for adapting to whatever. Yeah, for the way we play a little bit, but that took probably the longest. That's it. But that process is finalized obviously as well. So I'm really happy for him, just that he can show up, because if you have this quality, it's nice if you can show it in public, and that's what he did now a couple of times.
And back to London again this weekend for Palace. The last time you went there was an incredible occasion with 7 goals going in. I suspect, like a lot of other people, it won't be just as straightforward this time. They do seem to have changed a lot under Patrick.
Yeah, it didn't happen again after. Was that really the last time we were there? Wow. Yeah, that was how you call that, a one-off or whatever. Things that happen are like freak of nature. So it doesn't happen usually. That day was incredible. We hit pretty much with each shot. They had chances, but we hit everything. So no, we don't expect that game. That's true. And yes, they changed and they improved under Patrick, I have to say. They look like a real stable team now. They have, I think system-wise didn't change too much. 4-3-3, whatever. But it's a good team, a really good team. I always liked honestly the front line of like all the players available for Crystal Palace were always good. When Townsend was still there, and Zaha, and Benteke, and Ayew, now Edouard, Gallagher, obviously supporting everybody on the pitch. Really lively boy, and good defense as well. All these kind of things. So it's a really good Premier League team with a few unlucky results, I would say. It's not that I saw 20 games of Crystal Palace, but I saw a couple and thought, okay, that could have been the other way when they lost or drew. And so, yeah, we expect a really tough game.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you,
Thank
Peter.
you.
All the
That
best.
depends on the result, by the way.
Thank you, Peter. Brenton from the BBC, and then Carl Woodward from Merseyside. Juliet. There we are.
I needed to unmute. I forgot how it worked. Jürgen, you mentioned there to Pete about, you've got 6 or 7 games to go until you get to the final at Wembley now in the meantime. But you talk about that spirit in the dressing room as well last night and the mood. What does that do now over the next 6 or 7? Do you carry it through in terms of that resilience, that momentum, and everything else that you can put it into a pot together?
It would be great. Qualify for a final and you play then in the end of the season or whatever, and then from there on you're flying. Unfortunately, I don't know. But last night we were flying. That's true. After the game, boys were in a really good mood. It was the house, the music was loud, all these kind of things. That's all how it should be. But it gave us confidence because, everything what was said about us without the boys were not available in the moment. And for that, the game was a really good one. And so really happy about that. We will see. We feel good in this moment, but we have to create a different mood until Sunday because Crystal Palace away, they don't make presents. They're not famous for making presents, so we have to be in this fighting mood again, and we will be. So we are no kids anymore. Let's now celebrate these kind of things. Like for the next 4 weeks, we just take the feeling, hopefully can use it, but we have to be greedy again. We have to be aggressive again, in a football way aggressive, but we have to be, and we have to fight with all we have because Crystal Palace will exactly ask for that. And that's the thing I'm concerned about, not so much how can we keep this feeling for the next 4 weeks until the final. There's obviously are a few days. I'm not sure if it's 3 or 4 days before we play the final or if it's a full week. I don't know the schedule that much in detail yet, but who cares? We will try to be best possible prepared, and exactly the same for Sunday.
Okay, thank you, Juliet. Carl from Merseyside, BBC Merseyside.
Hi, Jürgen.
Hi.
I thought Fabinho had a brilliant game last night. He was great defensive shield, winning the ball back many times. He also got forward a lot, which he's been doing quite a bit recently. So he's becoming a commanding figure in all areas of the pitch, isn't he?
Thankfully. So it's now not that Fab came back from COVID, and we all thought, oh my God, he's directly back. So I think they all need a little bit of time. That's an observation, I have to say. Like, even when you have no symptoms, it's not like 7 days out, no symptoms, coming back. They didn't look exactly the same. I don't understand it yet, but maybe we'll get more information about that over the years, or hopefully we don't have to get this information because at one point it's over. But yes, he was outstanding last night. The amount of balls he won, the way he defended, the way he played, in which areas he showed up. Yeah, that was a really good game, I have to say. That was nice to see. But the others who came back recently, but Virgil, now a really top game. Trent, now a really top game. So that's absolutely helpful.
And Gavin Kelleher, he didn't put a foot or maybe a glove wrong last night. He looked really assured, made some good saves. He'd probably be number 1 at a lot of clubs, wouldn't he, as well? So, how highly do you rate him amongst other goalkeepers?
Oh, he's number 2 at Liverpool, which is, I would say, one of the highest rates. Or don't think it can be rated much higher in the age he is, but it's we are more than happy with him. Absolutely, this is a John Achterberg project, and so there were a lot of steps to go since I arrived here. When I saw him first time, a skinny boy from Ireland, and then standing in his big goal, it was like, okay, it could take a while until he fills it, and since then he made incredible steps, and now he's a top class goalie, definitely calm. Like, you cannot believe, good with the ball, and on top of that, makes incredible saves. So he enjoys the work with John, Jack, Tafa, and the other goalies, because what can you do better than in this age to learn from the best goalie in the world? So all these kind of things are really good for him, and we are more than happy to have him. And
you got this to final. We've been speaking about the final, but how good is it to give the fans a nice trip out to Wembley as well?
Oh, great. Absolutely great. Obviously, it's a while ago that we had this kind of situation. So I'm really happy that we could help a little bit with that. But again, I'm absolutely not in the mood to think about the final. But when I'm sitting now here, you ask me about it, yeah, it will be absolutely great. So obviously, like the stadium will be in red and blue. Yeah, it's good. You can see the difference really well. So will be a really exciting game. I really think really two good football teams facing each other in that final. That will be interesting.
Thank you, Carl. And the final one from this section to Carl Markham, and then if we could have the daily papers, please, for the first embargo section. I can only take 3 from each section, so we've got 1 in already, so a couple more from the dailies, and then we'll do the Sundays after. But Carl Markham to finish this part.
Hi, Jürgen. Just wondering how pleased you've been with Curtis's response after your little chat with him the other week.
Okay, you win a football game, a difficult one. You only can win it because a lot of players obviously performed really well. And yes, Curtis was really good last 2 games. Yes. I know him for a long time now. I know him. And I'm one of his biggest fans, to be honest. From the first day when I saw him, I can pretty much remember when the talent group trained at Melwood on a side pitch. And I looked out of my office and I saw him there. And wow. Next question was, how old is he? I think he was 15 at the time, but was already clear, massive talent. So, and talents need to work. He's doing that work, and talents need to learn the game. He's doing that every day and trying that every day. Sometimes they need a little push, and Curtis looks like he is that guy. Not that he is not concentrated or whatever. Let me say, not push. It's a response, proper response, and then he can have that much more often if he wants. if his response is then like this, absolutely fine. So yeah, but again, we couldn't have won that game with bad individual performances, and he was one of them, and so he performed really well.
Can I just check on availability for this weekend as well? I think Pep in midweek said that Ox might be back, and Joel's substitution last night, was that tactical?
No, Joel was not tactical. Joel was, my God, how good was Joel? We thought something is not 100% right. And it's now not a situation. You can change 5 times, so it's not a situation where I ask, oh, when we have Ivo and Joe on the bench. So that's just, we changed it, nothing else. Ox, yeah, we hope and pray, but he was running yesterday, but we don't know what that exactly means for today. So it would be helpful if we could train before the game. I don't know yet. The rest, as far as I know, were only knocks. So yes, we got knocks, proper knocks. Wow, second yellow from Partey against Fabinho. That was a proper knock. So I didn't hear anything. So that's most of the time positive, but sometimes I get surprised after the press conference, but I don't know anything else.
And just quickly, can I check? We saw the big hug you gave to Harvey when he returned to training. What's it like having him back, and how soon do you anticipate him being available?
It's outstanding. It's outstanding, boy. So I have a really nice office and with a really good view on the pitches. And when Harvey did his rehab sessions the last week, so I could watch them probably 5 of them. So I got already excited by watching them, and then he came back. So now it's really cool. So he looks. So he was out for a long time. So we cannot and will not and should not rush it. But he looked directly like he could play, and that we had to force ourselves a little bit to say no, that makes no sense after that long period. But I'm pretty sure after international break he should be ready.
Terrific, thank you, Carl. So to the first embargoed section, I said I'd take 3 questions. I've got Paul in at the moment, which I'm happy to take just the one person, but sorry, and then we'll go to the Sundays after that. So just bear with me 1 second. So everything now, or what we have here, is under embargo until 10:30 p.m. tonight, Friday the 21st. Then we'll go to the Sunday section separately to that. Okay, Paul, do you want to fire away?